I pledge always to protect the land, to be loyal to my country, to be obedient to the laws of the land, to love my fellow citizens, and dedicate my energies towards happiness and prosperity of the land. Thank you. May be seated. May I take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you to Legacy House for this induction and graduation. Today we are supposed to be inducting 12 mentees. I'm seeing 9 in front of you. And we are supposed to be graduating 9 graduates. I'm observing 4 in my presence. You all welcome. This is the 7th induction. It is the 7th induction since the scheme has assumed the name of the Forbes Burnham Foundation Awards and Mentorship Scheme. There were previous inductions dating back to 2001. And this is the 7th since we have the Forbes Burnham Foundation being responsible for the scheme. This is the second occasion we actually going to hand out graduation certificates. We've had other persons complete, but this is the second time that we're going to have actual certificates given out to the graduates. So that's the activity to which you all welcome to be active participants. We're going to start the activity beyond what I have said, which is a word of welcome, by having Ms. Frank do an overview of the scheme for you. As you know, Ms. Frank is a member of the directorate, but that apart, she's also a lecturer and assistant dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences of the University of Guyana. In addition to Ms. Frank, we also have present other members of the directorate, and I recognize also the treasurer of the Forbes Burnham Foundation, Mr. Henry. Very important person because he handles getting and disbursing the cash that makes some of these activities possible. So I'm very glad he's here, see what we're doing, and be motivated to help us raise funds in future for future activities. I therefore now hand over to Ms. Frank to give you an overview of the Forbes Burnham Foundation Award and Mentorship Scheme. Ms. Frank.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alexander. Good afternoon, everyone, parents, mentees. The pleasure is mine to share with you what we do at the Forbes Burnham Mentorship Scheme. So Mr. Alexander would have said to you that this is our 7th induction ceremony. since the scheme falls under the Forbes Burnham Foundation. But the mentorship scheme in itself has been in existence for more than 20 years? Yes, for more than 20 years. And so there are a number of past mentees who are out there who are making meaningful contribution to the development of Guyana. And when I say meaningful, I mean that in every sense of the word, the phrase, because we have officers, we have persons in foreign services, we have persons working in different sectors. But how did we support them to be able to successfully complete their second education and to be what we consider to be productive citizens of Guyana? So there are two aspects to the mentorship program. One is the actual program that we deliver for mentee, mentoring them through the process. And the second aspect is the support we provide for parents. We recognize that we cannot work with mentees and not work with their parents because they only come to us once per month. We meet for them, and then they go back into the environment. There is a saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and we believe in that. So a part of every mentee's village would now be the Forbes Burnham Mentorship Scheme, members of the Directorate. So there are some key objectives of the scheme. One is to enhance the social development of our mentees, particularly the socio-psychological domain, meaning we are trying to nurture them through a process where they become all-rounded, as we would want to say. But I think I skipped an important part, and that was to share with you what is the motto of the scheme. So the motto is promoting, nurturing, and caring for our youth. Promoting, nurturing, and caring. Three very important concepts. So other ways in which we do that would be to expose our mentees to real-life experiences. And the real-life experiences would be the once monthly interaction that we do. It's not a classroom setting, but it is one where we encourage our mentees to be interactive and to engage with a facilitator. And generally, we cover different topics when they meet monthly. We explore with mentees their self-concept, helping them to understand and to be able to answer that question for themselves, who am I? So for example, who is Sion? Sion must be able to tell us that as he progresses through the scheme. It's an opportunity to connect with others and to be mentored by persons who we consider to be role models. And our role models may be former mentees who have come through this scheme and professionals from various disciplines. Teachers, university lecturers, social workers, psychologists, even nutrition. So our scheme also, another aim and objective would be, it's to provide parents an opportunity for them to create a linkage between the scheme mentee between the different institutions that they also interact with. We also strive to be able to help our mentees to develop a sense of confidence, self-worth, and I don't just want to use the word independence, but interdependence. And I say I don't want to just use the word independence, because while we want them to be able to, what we would say in colloquial terms, to stand on their own and to be able to make decisions for themselves, we also recognize the fact that no man is an island. And so we're all dependent on each other. So they must have that healthy sense of interdependence, what they can lean on each other for, what support they can provide to each other, and what they can lean on parents and the mentorship scheme for. So all of this is underpinned by values for the family system, values for themselves as individuals, and value for society. That is because we want to ensure, when we say they are productive members of society, that they really are in every sense of the word. And so when we say a good citizen, we're speaking of a good citizen. And even as I say a good citizen, it reminds me of an experience I had this morning. So after church, I stepped into the market, and two young men next to me, both were vendors. One apparently came very close to another, and he said, "Why are you coming next to me? You coming to steal my money?" And the other one responded to say, "Even if I put a gun to your head, you can't do anything, you got to give it to me." So I was taken aback, and I was like, so then he saw the expression on my face, and he said, "Mommy, it's not nothing, it's joke with joking." I say that to share that when we're nurturing our young people, it's because we don't want those jokes to be among those that they're sharing with their mentees at school, wherever, because we know the power of the tongue and word. We are creating an atmosphere where there is positivity, and so you're using the language that would set you on the path of what you want to become. We're not going to be using that. So apart from our general monthly session, there are other activities that we generally expose our mentees to. So they are educational tours. So rather than meeting here, or they may meet here, but they may be going somewhere else. Let me ask you this question. How many of you have gone to the lighthouse, to see the lighthouse? So, interestingly, those who put their hands up to say they have gone to visit the lighthouse are older mentees. So, such educational tours, the museum, other places of interest, we are going to be taking them to explore, help them to understand the history and the purpose of those, what we would say, historical landmarks. We also provide opportunities for skills training. So periodically, we bring all the groups together. That usually happens when there is a 5th Saturday in the month. That's when all of our groups would come together, and sometimes we do skills training, a little arts and crafts we expose them to, or sometimes we do recreational activities. I know because of COVID, the older, some who are now going out, they would have missed out 2 years of that interaction, face-to-face interaction. But we pray there is no other pandemic around, and so this group of mentees are going to be able to enjoy that. We also provide opportunities for our mentees to be able to see a doctor and a dentist once per year. So during those sessions, parents, we are going to invite you to come along so that you can interact with the doctor. And we would generally notify you of those special dates that you need to be present with your child. We also engage in what we would call community service. So from time to time, we would take a group out and we may do repainting of pedestrian crossing, that sort of community exercise, because we're trying to nurture a sense for your community responsibility, development, and don't let nobody fool you. Even that is development, and it's contributing to development. On the part of parents, what do we do with you? How do we work with you? We try to provide what we consider to be parenting education support sessions. That is not because we feel that you do not know how to parent, but because we know in the society in which we are living in, all of us need some sort of support. Some of us, we have a struggle between work-life balance and all the other things that compete for our attention. And sometimes we really do not have the opportunity to be involved in other things, such as a little personal development class per se, because we want to be able to say that our mentees are getting the right support. That's why we're working with you. And let me tell you this, parenting education is applicable and relevant for any parent. And I'll use my own personal experience. I'm a parent of 3 what I would consider to be successful young adults. And as a young parent, I became a parent in my early 20s. I was married in my early 20s. And one way of disciplining my children was to use the belt. As I mature and I start to ask myself the question, why do you beat them? I didn't have an answer as to why. My first option to discipline was the belt. But as I sought to better understand that, what I recognized is that the only reason why I use the belt is because my mother used the belt. And as I reflect, I don't believe that many times that the belt was warranted in my case. And then as I looked at my own children as they were developing, I recognized one needed a belt once on a farm, one never needed a belt. There was no reason. And another, just a look, and it would work. So out of ignorance, I was using the belt to discipline. And you know what? As a professional, I've come to recognize that beating does not necessarily change the behavior. Because in our culture, we beat and we don't tell them what they do wrong, and we don't tell them how to correct the behavior. So it means that we are using our energy in vain, and in some cases to abuse more than to discipline. And so when I reflect on that, for me, 29 years ago, if I had the opportunity to be involved in a parenting class, I would not have, and to be exposed to such, I would not have been beating my children until they were, I think when I stopped using the belt, they were into their early teens, between the age of 11 and 13 or thereabout. But we also want you to be successful too. And so, for example, if you were to go through our draft program, we have topics about budgeting and managing your finance. Because if today or tomorrow, one of our mentees say that they want to go to the University of West Indies, they want to go to New York University, as parents, we got to find a way to ensure that they go, that they're able to go once they meet the requirement to go. And then there are additional needs that they may have. And so we work with parents so that they understand all of that. And all of us need that kind of support, budgeting, managing your finance, such like. So that's a synopsis of our program. But outside of that, what I did not say, it's about our Christmas social, and that is right around the corner. And so that's likely to be somewhere around the 3rd Saturday in December. You are going to be notified. The date is going to be confirmed. It's likely to be around the 17th of December. It's going to be confirmed with you. You'll be notified of the venue. A Christmas social is an opportunity for them to dress elegantly casual as they are today, and also an opportunity for us to put into practice some of the things that we have been talking to them about and sharing with them. You know, dining appropriately, because it's a formal dining experience. So they'll get that opportunity, practice the skills using knife and fork, and of course etiquette is also a part of our program. And also for you parents, we also bring a nutritionist to be able to talk to you about that, the right types of meals, what growing children need for their brain and for their brains and body to develop in the right way. Now, since I have taken so much of your time, because I am long-winded, I will bring this to a close. We have prepared for you, there is a brochure, and the title of the brochure is Supporting Your Child, a Guide for Parents and Guardians of Mentees. And there are little tips that we share with you. Well, first is what you need to know about the Forbes Burnham Award and Mentorship Scheme, and what are some of your responsibilities. For example, to facilitate a smooth and effective relationship between and among the mentees and the mentors and the Forbes Burnham Award and Mentorship Scheme. Also, to be able to update the directorate of any needs, any problem, any issues affecting the development. So all of that you're going to see from our brochure. We also have some tips for guardians, how you can provide emotional and financial support, attend parenting session, ensure that mentees do their assignments and homework, among other things. For our mentees, there is a brochure that we'll share with you. Tips to help mentees thrive and survive high school success sensibly. That's it. And that also provides some tips in terms of what they can expect, what they can do, read more often, study more often, for them to understand what are the likely social pressures and challenges they may experience, and when they encounter situations where they are being bullied, for example, what to do. So this brings me to the end of an overview of the mentorship scheme, and I want to say that we look forward to working with you mentees. We look forward to working with you parents. And I want to also take the opportunity to wish you mentees a very productive and successful secondary education, not by societal standards, but according to the goals that you are going to set and your parents are going to work with us for you to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Frank. I hope that that little clap here was as a demonstration of how active your ears were when she was speaking and your minds were in terms of absorbing what she had to say. It's quite a mouthful, an experience which we hope you will have over the next 4 to 5 years once you stay the course. We're here to work with you, for you to stay the course. It's for you, the mentees and parents, to stay the course with us. We now come to that item on the program where we will do what we refer to as a graduation of our mentees who've completed the program. They would have joined in Form 1. All of them who are here are now out of secondary school. Some went on to do CAPE, but they are now all out of secondary school and embarking on careers already. So before you, you will see some persons who have spent a year, 2, 3, 4 years with us and are today graduated. And so what I'll do, I'll call individual names, and as I'll call the individual names, Ms. Gall, one of the directorate, will present to them their certificates of completion. The certificates of completion. I will first of all call the most senior of the graduates. She was in a batch a year before the others, and her name is Keziah Johnson. This is Keziah Johnson. During Ms. Johnson's period in the scheme, she attended all of the camps we had, and I think on more than one occasion was someone who won the prize for the, we normally have a quiz at camp, and she is a person who on more than one occasion gained the prize and is herself a graduate of St. Joseph's Camp. We go to the next batch. Go to the next batch. And the first person who I will call is Brandon Nicholas Gamel. Brandon has become the cricket he wanted to be, but I know that he's been very successful in secondary school and has moved on to a career. When Brandon entered, I didn't recognize him. He used to me, for me to be a short boy. And I saw this guy coming in, almost my height, and said, "Who is he?" Of course, I don't have on my specs, but to show him that he is not only grown in terms of his psychosocial development, but he's accompanied that with good physical growth as well. The next mentee, who I will call, is Kirk Anthony Sargent. And if there's anyone who can tell you how much we try to reach out to our mentees, if they have circumstances that require assistance, Kirk can give testimony to that. It's not for me to do that. Kirk can give testimony to that. The next mentee, unfortunately, is not well right now, but her mom is with her. In fact, I told her mom when she came that they've changed the style today. She's always come with her little brother because of certain circumstances. But today her mom came, probably fortunately so. So I'll ask her mom to accept her certificate on her behalf as she revives herself. And I've just noticed the belated entrance of another one from the batch with Miss Johnson, and that is Angelique Annalisa Corbin. And she too has grown. I might not have recognized her. This scheme caters for Georgetown area. I'm told Angelique now lives on the East Coast, and I would like to attribute that to her lateness, the fact that she's coming from the East Coast. But she was indeed one of our more bubbly, dynamic, and probably saucy mentees, who's also been very successful at high school and has now moved on. And when I spoke about Brandon, I said I don't know if he's become the cricketer he wanted to be. And I don't know if Angelique has become the dramatist that she wanted to be, but she has been very active during our period with us in drama. And some of those skills we saw from time to time when we had our camp. Because at camp we also have competition. They do little skits and they compete, and Angelique certainly was one of the persons active in that regard. So there we've had the presentation of certificates to our graduates, who can now be referred to as graduates, and I wish you the very best in your career, and I hope that the scheme made a difference to your growth and development. We now go to the inductees, who hopefully 4 or 5 years from now will be graduates as well. What I will do, I'll call your name. As I call your name, you will stand and remain standing. Cordell Adolphus. Jeron Barry. Jabari Hazelwood. William Hodge. Matthias Phipps, Atoya Prince, Antoine Salmon, Alvin Skeet, and Sion Williams. So these are the 12 who are being inducted into the scheme this year, and therefore, to meet the requirements of induction, they will now collectively recite the mentee's oath. And this recital is intended to be committing themselves to being good mentees. So at the count of 3, please collectively, inserting your names at the inception, recite the mentee's oath. 2, 3. Recite, please read, repeat. Together. I, 1.
Do hereby pledge to make every effort to be a dedicated member of the Forbes Burnham Foundation and to cooperate with my mentors and the guidance and assistance to be obedient to my parents and to nurture and approach this world. Make my parents proud of me to endeavor the positive influence of my friends and of negative attitudes impact on me. To be a kind, loving, and respectful person and endurance, to stress, to be a good citizen, to make my community and country safe, peaceful, and develop for the benefit of our community. I pledge to be a successful and loyal.
Thank you. You are hereby inducted into the mentorship scheme. You may take your seats. They will each receive their membership card in which they will insert their names and their pictures. At the back of the card, that oath is also there. The ones you just read, you will sign and return to us, so we will know that you made that oath. And you will have your card where your oath, the oath is also inscribed. We expect you from time to time to read it, to remind yourselves what oath you took. It's a pledge. It's what you've agreed to work to be. The next item on our agenda is scheduled as a motivational word by Mr. Lloyd Austin. Mr. Lloyd Austin, you may or may not know, is the owner of Austin's Bookstore and has been one of our loyal donors throughout the years. Unfortunately, as you may see, he's not here, and I'll just read quickly the little message he sent. Good afternoon, Vincent. Regrettably, I will not be able to attend the function this afternoon. I have left too many things to do before my trip early tomorrow morning. He's traveling, so he's still caught up in preparing. Best wishes for a successful induction ceremony. So he is duly excused, but he has wished that we have a good induction ceremony. Therefore, we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, and that item would be the graduate's response. It should probably be the graduate's response, because having been awarded certificate of completion, she is now a graduate, and so I call on Ms. Keziah Johnson to do the response.
A little nervous up here. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board of the Forbes Burnham Foundation, and members of the Awards and Mentorship Scheme. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow graduates, mentees. I have been given the privilege of responding to my experience of the 5 years I was a mentee. Let's go back to before I was inducted. I had just registered for first form in secondary school, and I remember my mom telling me that she was signing me up for this mentorship scheme. I was like, really? I gotta. I remember thinking more new people I would have to interact with, first at school and now other children. Kind of nerve-wracking. At my induction, I was so nervous seeing so many new faces, but I was excited. Now let's fast track over the 5 years. It was filled with lots of activities, adventures, and lots of learning of our country's history and culture. Let's not forget making new friends and being a part of this entire scheme. It was great. And that knowledge has been beneficial and informative to an individual now heading into the country. Venturing into work and life and so forth after high school. Your mentors are like your second parents, so respect is necessary, just as you would give your parents. I have gained many morals and values during my years, so I'd like to end on this note that I am proud to have been given the opportunity to be a part of this noble scheme and encouraging existing mentees and new mentees to take full advantage of the opportunities afforded to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Keziah. As I indicated earlier, she was indeed one of our very active and I dare say very successful mentees. And you know what we did with her? Like I said on Friday, when she came to the scheme, we took her mother too into our bosom. So her mother is also a member of the directorate. So those of you new inductees, we coming to you shortly from among yourselves to pick that parent who is going to also become a member of the directorate. Moving on, she has said what she wished to say, having had an experience over 5 years. There's also the practice to have those who enter respond at the point of entry. And so at this point in time, I'll call on Master Salmon. Salmon. To speak to respond on behalf of the mentees.
Good afternoon, everyone. Members of the Forbes Burnham Foundation, parents and guardians, and fellow mentees. My name is Antoine Salmon. On behalf of the mentees, I would like to thank the foundation and our parents and guardians for the opportunity that they're giving us to learn more about our country, and our religions. We assure that we will keep our commitment to be good mentees. We assure that our commitment to be good mentees, we are inside this foundation. We look forward to it and our monthly sessions with the foundation. Once again, thank you for giving us a chance to be in this foundation.
Now I will make a comparison between Keziah and Antoine. He's going to get there. he is going to get there. That's a part of what we try to do in the scheme, to let them build confidence, to acquire skills, and once he commits to learning, he is going to get there. Right? So he's off to his start, and we'll come back from time to time to see the development that will take place. That kind of winds up this aspect of the induction, except that we now ask Ms. Gall to do the vote of thanks, the appreciation. Ms. Gall.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Ms. Alexander, Ms. Frank, other members of the Directorate, mentees, parents, graduates. The pleasure is mine this afternoon to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy afternoon and your Sunday afternoon relaxing after that wonderful lunch to join us this afternoon. I would like to thank the management of Legacy House for the accommodation. I would like to thank the the PNCR Communications Department for coverage of this activity, Mr. Austin of Austin's Bookstore for his donation, the Forbes Burnham Foundation by the treasurer also, and all those who contributed to making this afternoon's activity a success. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of your evening. I think we have a little snack, a light snack refreshment outside for you. But mentees, before you leave, we have these packages for you, so don't leave without it. These are also donations from other persons who have been contributing to the scheme. And you're expected, when you come to your session, to walk with your bag and your book. So do have a pleasant evening, and thank you all for coming.
So though it's accustomed to say that, I just thought I'll give you that punchline. There's no time off. So come forward, collect your backpacks, and then you're all invited outside for snacks.